Hello, fight fans. Happy Easter to everyone out there. Here to give you your analysis on last night's UFC. Chris Duncan versus Renato Moicano um, at the Apex. I want to give it. I'll say this is a C overall. I want to grade it a C. This card, it was a typical Apex card. You know what I mean? Not enough to bring in any casuals. Nothing really sexy happened, and just enough to entertain us regular hardcore MMA fans. On picks, I didn't do too well. You know, these Apex cards are could be a little tricky. They could either go very good or not so well. That's why I think I went 6 and 7 if I'm not mistaken. Had a bad start and then it got good and then it was like here or there, here and there. So I think I went 6 and 7, but on my best bets, I believe I only got one wrong. So if you follow my best bets, which is your best bet, you probably did really well. All right, so let's get into the analysis of what happened overall. So we started off with Kai Kamaka versus Dakota Hope, and this fight pretty much went the way I thought. You know, one guy was desperate, and one guy wanted to impose himself in the UFC, and so they both came out swinging. They both came out pressing forward. There was a lot of head clashes. I think there was like 3 or 4 head clashes in this fight, if I'm not mistaken. Um, both guys were really working hard to get the victory. They were swinging with everything they had basically, and they left it all out there. But one guy was more experienced and had a little more to fight for, and it was his wife's birthday. If I would have known that, I probably would have swayed a little bit more his way. Got a happy wife, happy life. But yeah, man. Well, props to Kai Kamaka. Let's see if he can build on that and uh, and let's see what's next for Dakota Hope. He's very raw. Uh, got a lot to build on. I mean, the kid has heart. He just needs a. He looks very raw. Needs to work on a lot of things, but hopefully he will. Hopefully if 40 ounce Fight Club gets some well prepared for his next match, and we'll see him look better next time. And Kai Kamaka, here's your second chance. When Brandon Moreno got his second chance, he made the most out of it. So let's see what Kai can do. And the next fight, Dion Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto. Uh, went the decision. Not surprised, even though Melissa Gatto had an easy way out. She could have pulled an Aljamain Sterling and just faked it like she couldn't no more, but she didn't. She chose to show that she has ovaries larger than some guys' genitals, and yeah, yeah. No shot to Aljamain. I mean, just guys in general, by the way. So, so yeah, man. This she could have easily, and I thought this fight was gonna get called off when Dion hit her with the illegal knee. I thought it was done. I mean, you heard it was a good crack. You could hear it. Sounded like a baseball bat hitting a ball. Yeah, I thought she made a big mistake, and I thought I cashed in with Gato, but no, she kept on fighting, and then that was her mistake because Dion Barbosa imposed her wrestling and got the majority decision. So sucks for her, but we'll see what's next for both of these gals. All right, the next fight was Trayshawn Gore versus Azamat Bakayev, and that was probably my only best bet that I lost. I thought Azamat had him in the second round. Early second round, he had Trayshawn Gore on the ropes. He had him. He had him. I thought it was done, and Trayshawn Gore just got a second win and turned it around and actually submitted the grappler. Props to Trayshawn. He did what most people thought he wouldn't. I believe he was the biggest underdog on this card, if I'm not mistaken, or he was the biggest or the second biggest underdog for sure. And Azamat, I don't know what happened, man. As soon as his leg got compromised, he saw him switching stands. He didn't know how to stand anymore. He kept switching. He kept getting hit in the leg. So yeah, that was tough. After that, I guess after Trayshawn felt that he almost lost, he turned it on. He turned the fight around and got the victory. And props for him. Okay, so the next fight was Alice Pereira versus Haley Cohen. Uh, this fight went exactly the way I thought. I thought that Haley would, being that she's probably next to get cut. I would believe, or but yeah. I thought she would show a little more intensity and keep this fight going on as long as possible. But Alice is another one that she's very young. I believe she's not even 21 yet. So she showed what she got. She's very talented, yet very raw. But she was still no match for Haley Cohen. And yeah, and I knew that, and she put on the performance that she had to, you know, and she got the big W, and good for her. I remember her first fight. She didn't show as much. I guess she was hesitant. She was, she had the jitters of her first fight, but she was able to show what she got here, showcase it against a willingly opponent like Haley Cohen, and she did what she had to do. And good for Alice Pereira. I'm excited to see her growth as well in the UFC. We'll see what's next for her. Next, we got Darius Flowers versus Lando Vanada. And both of these guys went out there swinging. The first round I thought, was going to be a little less intense than it was, but both guys came out there, and it was just the way I thought. Darius Flowers was just too much for Lando. Um, I think those 3+ years off, out of the cage, really hurt him. And Darius, man, Darius, he this was his first UFC fight with a full camp. I didn't know that. Uh, he missed weight by a little bit, but he showed that he was happy to win. He really wanted to win. You can see it in his post fight speech how he was very excited to win, and he was just he really wanted this, and I knew that he did. Um, and kudos for him. We'll see what he can do next against a game opponent on another full camp. I'm sure he'll make weight, and let's see what he has for in store for us next. All right, the next fight: Alessandro Costa versus Stuart Nickel, and yeah, this is what I thought would happen. I knew Stuart Nickel is not UFC material. Um, Alessandro Costa, it was a little bit. He was playing with him. I think he was toying with him a little bit. Then he got a TKO body shot towards the end of round two, and that's all she wrote. He was due for a win. This guy's win loss, win loss, win loss. Um, you know, he'll probably lose his next fight. Who knows? And I don't think Stewart will be in the UFC anymore. But maybe not. You never know. Tai Tuiwasa's still hanging around. You never know what the UFC has. Depends on how they feel about you or whatnot. But that's neither here nor there. All right. Uh, Good for Alessandro Costa. Congrats. Let's see if he can build on that. Next fight: Thomas the Train Peterson versus Pat Guilherme. Um, yeah, I'm a little disappointed in Guilherme. But then again, he's very raw as well. Doesn't have much experience. Put him in there against Thomas Peterson, who does have much experience. Does train with a good camp. Comes prepared and sticks to his game plan. Not the greatest specimen. He looks like a regular guy at the bar, and but he comes with a good game plan, and don't let the belly fool you. The guy's pretty talented, and he did what he does. He did what he had to do, and that's what he does. He's not gonna be the flashiest fighter. He's gonna fight with his mind, and that's what he does. He's a smart fighter. Puts you up against the fence. Um, wears on you, and Guillermo Pat and his camp should have known that. They should have prepared for that, and it looks like they didn't. They thought that he was gonna come out there and just, you know, get an easy victory, and there's no easy victory in the UFC. You know, so yeah, it's the majority decision, which is what I thought. If you saw my content earlier, um, that's what he does. That's what Thomas Peterson does. There's guys that he easily could have finished, but he likes to impose his will and do what he does. No shame in his game. Whatever gets you that W, that's what you need to do. But that wrapped up the prelims. So I believe I only got one one fight, 2 fights right in the prelims. It's not good. And then but the best bets swept them. No, I didn't sweep him. I got one wrong, but it's all right. He should have finished him. Azamat should have finished him, and what he didn't, it was that moment where everybody was like, ah. But then again, here we go to the main card: Jose Delano versus Robert Rachala. This was interesting because the first fight, the first round, Robert Rachala came out like the veteran that he is, and Jose Delano was a little gun shy. Granted, this is his first UFC fight. Um, but both guys kept throwing. It was a pretty good, entertaining fight, like I thought it would be. It went to decision like I thought it would. So Jose Delano grew confidence as the fight went on. As a matter of fact, when the second round started, it was a different Jose Delano. He was pressing. He just looked confident. He had that look in his eyes like uh, he was not gonna lose tonight. So the first round, you could tell that he was, feeling out what was going on, feeling the. Then again, it's also, I think it was also his first time being in the Apex, so that could really affect some fighters. Believe it or not, some fighters actually like big crowds. The crowds, it kind of intensifies the moment and just makes it them and their opponent. But the Apex, you hear everything, you see everything. So I don't like it. The fighters don't like it. But yeah, Jose Delano grew as the fight went on, and outstruck Rachala. He just outmaneuvered him, and got his way to a unanimous decision win. So yeah, that's 2 losses in a row. Two tough unanimous decision losses in a row for Robert. And yeah, he really needs to pull one out of the hat for his next fight. And congrats to Jose Delano. This guy's going to be a force to be reckoned with in this division. And yeah, starting off the UFC with a W. Congrats for him. Next fight on the card was Tommy McMillan versus Manolo Zecchini. And yeah, the Tommy Guns came out and did what he did. They call him the Shane O'Malley protege, but this guy looks like the real deal. I don't know if it's a Scarface tattoo, but he came out knowing that he was gonna smoke Manolo Zecchini. Didn't know he tried from round one. He was just swinging away, and Manolo nearly caught him. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh no, that was a a near parlay crushing moment. If you would have lost to Manolo, that would have been no bueno." But yeah, he settled down. He found his shot, and and yeah, he caught him. He caught Manolo, hit him with the 1-2, and yeah, pulled off his first UFC win. Congrats for him. Um, I don't know who sanctioned this fight. I don't know why they gave him this opponent. This guy was not in the same stratosphere as him, but I guess the UFC they have something with those guys. Him and Shane O'Malley, and they just feed him little tomatoes until they make it big. So we'll see. We'll see what they have next for Tommy. If it's another layup or they actually give him somebody decent. All right, the next fight was Ethan Ewing against Rafael Estevam, and this guy Ethan Ewing just he proved that he's the real deal, man. I faded him and I shouldn't have. Maybe because Estevam had more experience, I believe, and he was undefeated. I thought he would pull it out some way, but uh, the fight did get to the third round, and Ethan Ewing almost ended it at the end of the first. Actually, the end of the first round, Esteban was saved by the bell, and Ethan is a force, man. This guy has the confidence of a champion. He has the will. He's well rounded. He's a wrestler, but he chooses to strike. He's like a Justin Gagey that fights smarter, if you will. Um, yeah, man, this guy proved me wrong, and he proved that he probably deserves a ranked opponent next, or someone close to a ranked opponent. You know, this guy's really, really, really good, and Estevam just couldn't hang. Couldn't hang with him. He was too much for Estevam. Took his first L. Uh, but the bantamweight division is gonna get a little more interesting with this guy Ethan Ewing. Let me tell you. I'm interested to see what how this division shapes up moving forward. All right, next fight is Abdul Rahman Yakayev. This was another layup. He it didn't take him much to defeat Brandon Ribeiro. Now he came out swinging him, and Brandonson uh, didn't back down. He came out swinging as well. He almost caught him, as a matter of fact. But Abdul was just too determined. He weathered the early storm. It was a little back and forth exchange there at the beginning, and then he eventually found his shot, landed it, and when it went down, he just he wasn't messing around. He applied that rear naked choke, and he got out of there. Got his 100K and got out of there. I believe it was 100K. If it wasn't fight of the night, then shame on the UFC. I mean, performance of the night. So yeah, we all knew this was gonna happen. This is no shocker. Hopefully, this guy gets a good ranked opponent next to him, and we'll see. We'll see what he's all about. The next fight was Verna Jandiroba versus Tabitha Ricci. Man, Baby Shark could not hang. I thought she would. This is another one. You know what your opponent's gonna do, and I don't know how you don't game plan against it. It's not like if this is her first rodeo. Tabitha Ricci's been around. She's fought opponents like this. You know what your opponent's gonna do. I don't know why, you don't game plan better. I mean, it's no secret. Everybody knows what Verna came out here to do, and then, she does what she does. It was a unanimous decision win. She once she takes you down, it's kind of hard for Tabitha. It would have been difficult for Tabitha to keep getting up, and this girl's relentless with it. So, and then after she won, in her post fight speech, she talked about I asked her who she wants, and she wants a rematch again, a trilogy with the champ. And I beg the UFC not to do that. Do not give her a trilogy yet. Have her fight somebody else, please. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to see another main event or co-main event. You know, have them fight in the RAF if that's what she wants to do. But I believe Mackenzie Dern deserves another more exciting matchup. Perhaps Jan or John Wei Lee or just somebody that's going to bring it and make it a fight and not just a straight wrestling grappling match. Um, Nobody wants to see Verna as champ, just because we know what she's gonna do. She's not gonna fight excitingly. She's gonna fight to win, and that's fine. But the sport's not gonna grow with champs like that. And yeah, yeah. Throw some more strikes. Have a more definitive win. Try getting a KO or a TKO, and then we'll see if she could fight for the belt again. But yeah, that was a clear win for Verna, and that's like the blueprint to beat Tabitha. It's just take her down, and just control her. She loves to be taken down, my kind of girl. But yeah, I was hoping she pulled it off, but she didn't get to. So yeah, kudos to Verna for doing her thing. All right, so next we got the main event, the fight of the night: Renato Money Moicano versus Chris Duncan. How upsetting! How upsetting! I did say that this is a possibility if it went down, and Chris started off. He started off, excited. He's like he always does, pressing forward, throwing bombs, but it wasn't working. And then at the end of the fight, they started the rumors of who chose to fight who because they're both from ATT. And Chris is saying, no, Moicano said he would fight me. And Moicano was like, no, Chris said he would fight me first. And, this is a he said. With my experience, just a guess, I'm going to guess that Moicano said yes first. I'm going to guess that he sees him in a gym. He knows what he's about. And he's a guy that he knew that he could beat. He has more. He's way more experienced than Chris. Uh, who knows who these guys spar with at the gym. He wouldn't take this fight if it was two losses in a row if he didn't think that he could win. But that's neither here nor there. They both said yes. They both were ready. They were both healthy. Just one guy saw that he wasn't getting his way and abandoned the game plan. He abandoned his game plan, and then Moicano just took over and does what he does. Once he gets on the ground and he gets that body lock on you, it's kind of hard to get out unless you get saved by the bell. And Chris should know that. He should have had more urgency to not get in that body lock and just fight the hands. Don't let him choke you because we all know what was coming. But then so you know it is what it is. He had his back up against the wall. He had lost two in a row, and Moicano did what he had to do. It was tough picking against him. Uh, I hate picking against guys when they have their backs against the wall like that. I mean, I did against Izzy last week, but that's just because Joe Piper's just a different beast, and I felt he was gonna bring it, and I thought Chris was gonna bring it too, man. He was on a great streak, but he should have came with a better game plan, but he didn't, and he lost, and there's no excuses there. But the fight did not go the distance, and that I promise you guys. So all in all, it wasn't that good on the bets this week, but the best bets, I was only off on one. So that's what I pride myself on. That's what I use. Um, so yeah, and then after the fight, Moicano is just with a belligerent rant, uh, effing the crowd, f the people, uh, didn't care. I don't know what this guy was saying. I don't know what he was on. I don't know if it was like he was in a weird state of mind, but he was just blabbering nonsense that he wants easy fights, that he has money, he wants a good opponent. He just didn't make sense at all. You know, that's the time where you want to be, you know, thank the fans. You know, and he got all religious all of a sudden. All of a sudden, this guy is like super religious, and then he throws 50 f bombs while saying that he's religious, and it was just weird. Is it just me, or does anybody else feel the same way? I felt a little uncomfortable watching the post fight speech. I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh, this guy's, you know, he's devoted now. He newborn newborn Christian, or whatever he wants to be. You know, he found God, but yet every other word was an f bomb. So I'm kind of confused there, and then f the crowd, and then he just didn't care. Nothing made sense. But then again, that's Moicano. Supposedly he's making tons of money on another platform, or whatever he's doing, and it just didn't make sense. It was uncomfortable, but that's what you get with Moicano. Um, it is what it is, guys and gals. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed my comment. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully, it's a much better card down in my home city. I will be there personally. And yeah, gotta pray that it's much better than what we just witnessed a few hours ago. Take care, guys and gals. Happy Easter to everyone, and have a blessed day.